Now boarding train 247. Destination Jazz Central.
Good evening and welcome to Jazz Central. I'm Angela Stribling, and tonight we're going to do things a little bit differently. Lou Rawls has the night off, but Diane Reeves and Bobby Lyle are going to sit in for him, and they have a very special guest, Mr. Ronnie Laws. And as a matter of fact, make sure you watch the entire show because tonight you're going to see something that has not been seen before on national TV, a special performance by Bobby Lyle and Ronnie Laws. So I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Take it away.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Bobby Lyle.
And I'm Diane Reeves, and welcome to Jazz Central.
And guess what? We have a very special treat for you tonight. An old and dear friend of mine is going to come out and play some mean Texas tenor saxophone for you. And guess what, Diane? He's always there.
Always there? Well, he's here now. Here to perform a new song entitled Still in the Band. Ladies and gentlemen, Intuition recording artist, Mr. Ronnie Laws. Welcome back to Jazz Central and our special guest, Mr. Ronnie Laws.
And he's going to kick it in with a cut from his Deep Soul album called Tonight's the Night. Take it away, Ronnie. Welcome back to Jazz Central, and tonight we're privileged to have as our guest Mr. Ronnie Laws.
Yeah.
What's happening, Jaws?
How you doing, man?
Jaws.
How did you get that
Jaws?
nickname?
Dun, dun,
I
dun.
promised her that I wouldn't say that before you played.
That's an inside joke. I mean, that's my nickname, Jaws.
It sure
Where did
is.
that come from? I don't know. How did that get started?
I think it was somewhere between Wayne Henderson and one of those Crusaders.
Actually, he gave me the name.
I didn't?
Yeah.
Oh, put it on me. Okay. You know, Ronnie, I was, some of my touring buddies and I were sitting down the other day and we were compiling a list of contemporary saxophone players. And we quit when we got to about 35 or 40. Now, there was a time, you know, back in the 70s when this whole genre of music came about where it was basically just you and Grover.
Yeah.
So I'd like to hear some of your views on how this thing has evolved and where you feel your place is in it now, and what do you think of some of the newer guys that are playing?
Well, I mean, it's been how many years now? I mean, I guess 15-something years, you know, and
A generation.
you were there. I mean, you were there with me, and
That's right. Playing the piano.
yeah, hang
In one of
dudes.
your first bands. That's right.
Yeah, so I mean, in retrospect, you know, looking back and seeing the groundwork that was laid, I mean, I'm looking at a gentleman was approaching me earlier about Earth, Wind, and Fire, and so it's interesting how all of the formation of those groups, you know, and individual artists like myself and Grover were basically breaking a lot of ground and setting precedents.
Definitely.
And that was a very interesting and unique period, I think, in music in our era, because I think after that, you can honestly say I don't think that's really been really seriously duplicated as far as the stature and quality, you know,
Right.
of what that music represented at that time. And,
Well, I know for me personally, it was a springboard into my own solo career, coming out of your band like that and hooking up with Wayne Henderson and going to Capitol Records and that
Yeah.
whole era. Capitol, that's your home now.
It also gave the listening audience an entree into a world that maybe a lot of them may not have wanted to or didn't think that they could get into. And so with putting together all the wonderful genres of music as
Yeah.
well as incredible abilities to play,
Yeah.
you know, and bring the people in. I think like Cannonball started doing that.
That's
you
right,
know.
yeah.
Yeah, people-oriented,
Herbie Hancock. Yeah.
people-oriented jazz, you know, and also let's not forget Ramsey Lewis.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, those are my heroes. I mean, you know, Herbie
And
Hancock.
Mr. Les McCann.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's really interesting because during that time, I can recall very clearly back in 1975, and I was quite young then. It's what, 20, 25 when you met me? Yeah.
Well, you're not that much older.
But anyway, it was interesting because I got a lot of heat, you know, for incorporating that kind of different styles into one. They call it fusion. I hate that term fusion because it means nothing to me.
Yeah, that's confusion.
Yeah, absolutely.
To use titles like that.
Yeah.
But I think the way the scene has gone now, there's the good part about what's happening now is that there's more radio stations popping up that play contemporary jazz, and also when you have an artist that hits it as big as a Kenny G or what that does, that brings a lot of jazz listeners in and maybe makes them curious about, well, what were his influences, and they may go back and get a Ronnie Laws album.
Yeah.
So I think it's all working for the good.
I mean, it comes back in circle, in a full circle.
Exactly.
It's just a matter of perseverance. I mean, you know, we're here, and that's what it's really all about, you know.
Because you know in jazz, we have to go for the longevity. No.
The other thing that's wonderful that you have is that you guys, your family is
Yeah.
so involved in the music. And you guys, you're touring a lot now?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up because we're getting ready to take the family to Japan. We're doing a real major concert over there around about the 20th of August. And so we're really excited about it, and it's the first time we will have worked together as a family unit, really, in I guess about almost 15 years, you know. So, and then I'm going to include some of my kids, and my daughter's a singer, so
Great.
and I'm sort of kicking them in the pants and making sure that they, you know, stay on the road to doing this, because the music is very important, and it's good. It's very important to keep the tradition going. And,
It's the law of the laws.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
How
what-
was it when you grew up? I mean, are your parents involved in music, or did you guys perform a lot around the house
Well, my
together?
mother was like, she directed the church choir, and I recall every Sunday morning sitting right next to her on the stool, you know, the piano stool, and she was directing the choir. That was an experience.
And,
it really
and
was.
yet you became a sax player?
Well, that's another story because I remember she would always relate to me how she loved saxophone, and
Right.
and she wanted to play it, but she never did get around to doing that in school. And so I said, well, look, I'll play it for you, you know, and that's how I got started. And the rest is history, you know.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the new label that you're with, and what are your plans for future projects on that label?
Well, the new label is Intuition Records, and they're distributed by Warner Brothers. And the new release is scheduled very shortly, I think either in October. The name of the album is Brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
So it sort of encompasses relationships and friendships in the business, and it has a wide scope as far as meaning is concerned, that particular title, you know. And I think it's a very appropriate title considering what's happening today, you know.
You have
Definitely.
some really special people on it, like Mr. Larry Dunn.
That's true. Yeah, Larry, very good friend. We go back to the.
Fill us in on his whereabouts lately.
Well, you know, Larry's he's like a recluse. You know, he's up in the mountains in Malibu. You know,
Right, we
and
never see
He
him.
never comes out until it's, you know, I guess it's time to go get groceries or something. You know?
But he's still
Right.
writing and
Oh, he's a
still.
Yeah,
great
I'm
writer.
sure he's
Yeah.
productive, yeah.
Very
And,
productive.
We're very, you know, very, very close. You know, as you and I are, and going back to, actually, he brought you in on one of my album projects,
right.
the Flame album. You and Philip Bailey were doing backgrounds. And,
That was in the
on
late 70s
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff going on at that time, up there in Malibu.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Ronnie, you're a real special artist, and I've just been happy to be your friend all these years.
Same
and
here, man.
I wish you continued success.
Thanks, Bobby.
And thanks for coming by and seeing us
Thank
at
you.
Jazz
You
too.
Central.
You take
Absolutely. Yeah.
Take care. Welcome back to Jazz Central. Tonight we're featuring saxophonist Ronnie Laws.
And here he is again to perform for you one of his signature pieces, Friends and Strangers.
Jazz Central, and tonight we're featuring saxophonist Ronnie Laws.
And here he is again with Big Daddy Swing. It's about that time. I can hear the Jazz Express making its way into the station. But before we go, we have a special surprise for you. My friend and co-host, Mr. Bobby Lyle, is going to join Mr. Ronnie Laws in a piece entitled Night Breeze. Here they are together.
Steinway, furnished by Boyd's Pianos, home of fine Steinway grands of Washington, D.C.